Good morning. It is Friday, April 17th. Today we are going to perform unit analysis by matching up the units. Very important for what we're going to be doing next. You also may have seen this procedure a little bit in Algebra 1. You may have seen it in chemistry. This is very big in the SAT. It's a very, very, very important lesson for a lot of different reasons. So let's do it. A block of wood has a volume of 200. Let me just make this look bigger. Work in purple because I like purple. A block of wood has a volume of 200 cubic centimeters. So we always want to start with the piece of information they give me. It's giving me 200 cubic centimeters. The cost of the wood is 10 cents per gram. The density is 2.1 grams per cubic centimeter. What will be the cost of producing 15 of these blocks? So basically, at the end of the question, it's asking me for cost. Right now, I have cubic centimeters. So I need to start with cubic centimeters and end up with cost. So to do this, I'm going to perform what we call unit analysis. And it's pretty much what we did yesterday with conversions. I have cubic centimeters right now. I want to convert cubic centimeters to something. So let's read through the problem. Does it say anything about cubic centimeters over here? No. Does it say anything about cubic centimeters over here? Yes. So because I want to get rid of cubic centimeters, I write the cubic centimeters on bottom. I'm changing cubic centimeters to grams, so grams goes on top, and it's telling me that it's 2.1 grams for 1 cubic centimeter. There's always assume that there's 1 on the bottom when you're talking about per. Cubic centimeters are gone. Now I have grams. So now, again, ultimately I want cost. So now I need to change grams. So again, grams goes on bottom. I'm going to look in the problem for gram. I see 10 cents per gram. So I'm changing the grams into money. It's 10 cents for 1 gram. Now the grams are gone. I wanted money. I have money. Now, final step, I'm done with my unit analysis, but if there's any type of percent or quantity, I'm going to multiply by the percent or quantity. I want 15 of these blocks, so I'm going to now multiply by 15. So what did I do? Let's do a different color as I go back through this here. I start with cubic centimeters, so I looked in the problem for somewhere else that I saw cubic centimeters. I saw it here. I'm changing cubic centimeters to grams. It's telling me what the relationship is. That gets my cubic centimeters to cancel. Now that I have grams, I'm looking in the problem for grams. I'm changing grams to money. It says it's 10 cents per gram. Grams cancel. Now that I have the unit that I want, great. My final step is to multiply by a quantity, a percent, quantity or a percent if necessary. There's no quantity in this there's no percent in this problem. There is a quantity of 15, so I multiply by 15. Now I just go to my calculator and I type this whole thing in. Because it's a fraction, I like to always use alpha y equals enter. There's nothing on bottom in this particular fraction, so you don't have to. But I see 200 times 2.1 times 0.10 times 15. My bottom, I just have ones. And I have 630. So my answer is $630. If you're a little confused right now, it's okay. It takes a few examples to get this, but once you get it, it's going to make everything so much easier. So let's take a look at the next example. Let's go to green. A cylindrical test tube has a volume of 45 cubic inches, so I'm always starting with a piece of information they give me. Ultimately, it's asking me for cost. So I need to get from cubic inches to cost. So now I'm going to look in the problem for cubic inches somewhere else. I see it here, 4 ounces per cubic inch. So cubic inches goes on bottom because that's my initial unit. I'm converting that to ounces, and it says that it's 4 ounces per cubic inch. Cubic inches are gone. Now I have ounces. So now I'm going to read through the question for ounces. Boom, there it is. I'm going from ounces to money. It's 12 cents for 1 ounce. Ounces are gone. Now that I have cost, that's what I wanted. Now I look for any type of percent or quantity. I do see a percent here. Hopefully you remember what to do whenever you see a percent. Whenever you see a percent, you need to divide it by 100 to convert it into a decimal. So that would be 0.8. So again, a percent, whenever you see a percent, there's something you should learn in middle school. You convert it to a decimal by dividing by 100 or moving the decimal place 2 spots over. And my setup is done. Now all I have to do is go to my calculator. Again, there's nothing on bottom, so I don't have to use alpha y equals enter here, but there will be circumstances where there will be stuff on bottom. So I like to just get in the habit of always using alpha y equals enter whenever I do unit analysis. So I'm typing my 45, my 4, my 0.12, my 0.8. Again, that 0.8 is because of the 80%. There's nothing on bottom, there's just ones. And I have 17. That's it. There's not much more to it. We're going to go through a couple more examples, and then I'll let you practice on your own. Let's skip ahead to number 5. Let's go back to purple. I like purple. The stone brick has a volume of 150 cubic inches. So again, I'm always starting with whatever piece of information they gave me. Not a conversion, the actual piece of information. Ultimately, I want cost. I think for all these, we're going to end up with cost. But it's not always ending up with cost, but it usually is. So I want to start with cubic inches. I want to get to money. So I'm going to look in my problem for cubic inches. I see cubic inch right here. So I'm going from cubic inches to grams. So cubic inches goes on bottom, grams goes on top. 5 grams per cubic inch. Cubic inches are gone. Now I'm looking for grams. I see grams right there. I'm going from grams to money. So my grams goes on bottom. My money goes on top. 452 for 500 grams. So it's not a 1 on bottom. It doesn't say it's 452 per gram. It says it's 452 for 500 grams. So not a big deal. Just whatever it says. The relationship is, that's what you put down. Now I have money. That's what I want. Is there a quantity or a percent? There's a quantity of 12. So there's my setup. And if you notice, I'm left with money. Everything else canceled out. So now I just go to my calculator. Definitely want to use alpha y equals enter here since I have that 500 on bottom. 150. 5. 4.52. 12. 500. 8136. You might be wondering, why do I put like a time, like an X here? Just because this is my unit conversion, and then my final step is to multiply by the quantity or the percent. So this is my unit analysis, and then if necessary, I'm going to multiply the whole thing at the end by either the percent or the quantity. Mathematically, it doesn't change how I write it, but I just feel like it makes sense to do it that way. All right, I think this is the last example we're going to go over together, and then after that, you're going to practice. Very, very important unit again. We're going to be using this to solve 4- and 6-point questions in the next lesson, which we're going to start next week. So it's telling me that the volume is 1015. So I'm going to start with 1015 cubic centimeters. Again, you're always starting with whatever piece of information they actually gave you. Ultimately, I want dollars, so I'm going to do 1 unit at a time. I'm going to search for cubic centimeters. I want you to do it. I'm going to give you an opportunity to do each step, and I'll do it. Look for cubic centimeters and do that fraction. I'll give you about 30 seconds, well, 20 seconds. Okay, there's cubic centimeters. So cubic centimeters goes on bottom. I'm changing cubic centimeters to grams. 7.95 grams is 1 cubic centimeter. Cubic centimeters are gone. Now I have grams. I'm looking for grams. I'll give you a moment to find that. There's a little twist here. Look for grams. I don't see grams, but I do see kilograms. So I have to convert grams to kilograms. So the grams goes on the bottom, the kilograms goes on top, and now this is something that you need to know. It doesn't say it in the problem, you need to know the conversion from grams to kilograms. We did this in the last lesson. 1,000 grams is 1 kilogram. Now that I have kilograms, I can deal with this. I'm going from kilograms to money. So again, kilograms is going to go on bottom because that's what I'm getting to cancel. Money is going to go on top. $0.29 is 1 kilogram. Now I have money, which is what I want. Is there any type of quantity or percent? There's a quantity of 500. That's my unit analysis. Notice all the units canceled except for dollars. That's what I want. From here, I just go to my calculator. 1015, 7.95, 1. You don't have to write the 1 since anything times 1 is itself, but I'm just going to type it anyway. 500. My bottom, I have 1,000. To the nearest dollar is the nearest whole number, which is 1170. If you look this question up, you're going to see there's other ways to do it. This is, I think, by far the easiest once you get this procedure down. And again, it might take you some time to get this procedure down. So do what you got to do, practice it, but it definitely is very important. You need this lesson in order to do the 4 and 6 point questions which are coming next. So again, to do unit analysis, start with whatever piece of information they give you, usually the volume, but not necessarily. And then 1 unit at a time, start converting it. The cubic centimeters went to grams, so I did that conversion. Then I had to change my grams to kilograms, so I did that conversion. Then I had to do kilograms to money, so I did that conversion. Usually you want to end up with money, but not necessarily. Once I have that correct unit, I look to see if there's a quantity or a percent. There's a quantity of 500, so I multiply by 500. And then once I have this, I'm just going to type it into the calculator using alpha y equals enter, and my answer is going to be spit out. Again, if it's a percent, then you're making it into a decimal by dividing by 100. So whenever you see a percent, make sure you move the decimal 2 places or divide by 100. Other than that, it's the same as a quantity. So your classwork / homework for Friday and Monday is going to be a 2-period lesson, is to finish unit analysis, and I'm going to make your quiz due on Tuesday. I'm giving you an extra day for everything just to, give you the benefit of the doubt and go from there. Any questions, hit me up on Remind. Again, this is a very, very, very important lesson. If you don't get this lesson, you're going to be lost in the next lesson. So ask me any questions if you have them. Have a great day. Bye.